But here, for her to learn about what the Song of Ice and Fire is, which again, this is never mentioned in the show. It's never this that vision is totally different in the show, and so one of the things we see is when she in the show when she goes north above the wall to help them out. Well, if a similar situation like that plays out, which I don't think that's going to happen at all, I don't think, hey, the whole mission to get a white to bring back to Cersei to get Cersei to agree to have a true, I don't think that any of that is happening in in the books. I do think there's still a possibility that she could lose a dragon to a Night King like character, which we still don't have, or the White Walkers or whatever, however that's Euron, however it plays out. But it seems to me that if she's learning about this true Song of Ice and Fire at any point, that would make her more likely to be someone to have to fight to take them on, rather than what we see in the show, which is sort of her being like, all right, well, I'll help you fight your war, Jon Snow, if you help me fight mine. If you bend the knee, I'll help you to fight this random war against things I don't even think are real.
Yeah.
Because here it seems to me like she may end up learning that this stuff is way more real than she thought before any of that stuff could theoretically happen.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. So you go to a search of Ice and Fire and you type in A Song of Ice and Fire, and there are literally 3 references to it, right? In the whole series, and it's all in the Clash of Kings, and it's all Dany chapters, and it's Dany 4 and Dany 5, right?
Right.
And so it's the House of the Undying, where he's the prince that was promised, and his is the Song of Ice and Fire. He looked up when he said it, and his eyes met Dany's, and it seemed as if he saw her standing there beyond the door. There must be one more, he said. Though whether he was speaking to her or to the woman in the bed, she could not say. The dragon has 3 heads. It's all kind of discombobulated. It starts off with the woman is asking, so she's seeing this. The woman is saying, "Will you make a song for him?" The woman asked. The man replied, "He has a song." So, okay, Rhaegar, if it's Lyanna asking Rhaegar, "Will you make a song for him?" Meaning a boy child, right? Right. And then
Right.
the man replies, "He has a song. He is the prince that was promised, and his is the Song of Ice and Fire." So whoever that
But there must be
is,
one more,
and then he looked right.
because that doesn't make sense.
There must be one more, he said, though whether he was speaking to her or the woman in the bed, she could not say. The dragon has 3 heads. So is that Elia, like when
Well,
Aegon is born, and there must be one more,
well,
or
then that
is
would
that?
mean that Aegon is Aegon, potentially young Griff, or the Aegon that dies is the prince that is his song is the Song of Ice and Fire. Not it wouldn't be John's. It would be because there still must be one more.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's if that's Aegon or if that's John. Yeah, who's the one more? I mean, after John, you have one. No, I know it's crazy. You've got Rhaenys, you've got Aegon. He has 2 kids with
What's
Elia.
isn't the what's the birth order? The birth order I think is Visenya, Aegon, Rhaenys, right?
I think so. Yeah, Rhaenys is the youngest. Visenya is the oldest. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So is that what they were? Is that what he was trying for? Is to have girl, boy, girl?
I don't. Yeah. I don't know if he means it to be that literal or not. But this he is the prince that was promised, and his is the Song of
Because
Ice
then
and Fire.
yeah, yeah. There's just there's no way for it to if you go there's no way to have a girl, boy, girl in that situation and have John be anywhere involved in it unless young Griff is legitimately the one, and then John is N plus A equals J. But why would you be at the Tower of Joy? Why would Lyanna be at the Tower of Joy unless you just go there and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. It's one of those. This is just, and again, Danny's looking at this, and this is something that she's seeing in the vision, and it's all kind of cloudy, and things are happening and moving, and
Right.
is it real? Is it not? The other thing is what Aemon says to us later. Aemon Targaryen, Maester Aemon, that he is Rhaegar is almost like misinformed. Like he used to talk to and correspond with Rhaegar, and Rhaegar believed it was the prince that was promised, and he said really it was the princess that was promised. And the line, like Rhaegar believes that the prince that was promised, the ghost of High Heart prophesies that from their line, the prince that is promised will be born. And they believe it to be either Rhaegar or Rhaegar's son. And Aemon says, no, truly it was a princess born of that line, not Rhaegar, but his sister Dany. So now we have all of that, and she's the princess that is promised. And so she is the Song of Ice and Fire, if you will, or whatever. Or maybe, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta look at the I gotta look at some timelines here.
Matt's like, oh, hold on a second.
Hold on a second. Let me just think about this for a second.
That's funny. It's funny. And I'll finish.
So
yeah, go ahead.
And I guess we forget because again, the show sort of blends us, and even fan art sort of causes us to think about people in totally different light than they actually would be. Because Daenerys, right, during a Clash of Kings is really only like 14, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'll obviously be looking at Emilia Clarke, who's like in her 20s into 30s playing her, because it's over like 7 seasons and stuff. And then a lot of the fan art makes her look like she's 16 to 18 to young 20s.
Yeah.
But really, she's only 14. And so I think sometimes that can sort of cause us to be like, Daenerys is way too old, because no, she actually isn't. It's just sort of where our minds are recency bias. We look at all these other things, we look up her, but it doesn't accurately depict the character as described in the book. Because I'm forgetting here that Daenerys is born in 284. So she is, again, this could be at the beginning, the end. It's roughly could somehow still theoretically be slightly different, because Daenerys is roughly the same age as Jon, right? Jon's born in 283, I believe.
Right, they're real close, yeah.
Because then, let me see here. So that means that young Griff, if he is the actual Aegon Targaryen, right? When is he born? Because he's a babe. That's 283 is when he's born?
Who was born
Aegon Targaryen, he's born in late 281 or early 282.
Now, which one is Griff, it, buddy?
Yeah, exactly. Because even young Griff, when you look at pictures of young Griff, like fan art, he looks like he's younger than Daenerys. And so
yeah.
We're always like, well, hold on a second. None of this stuff adds up. Like
Right. And so they're all pretty close, that 282 AC. So I think what I did one time is I clicked on these dates. You can click on like 283 AC. By the way, I love the wiki. Shout out to the wiki. Good stuff on there. 282 AC. You can see who was born, and you can see the events that take place.
Right.
Which is really kind of cool. 283. Here we go. This is where all the births. There we go. You've got Bella, a girl from the Riverlands, bastard daughter to Robert Baratheon. Desmond Redwine, Jane Westerling, Jon Snow, bastard of Eddard Stark by an unknown woman. That's what it says. Bastard of Eddard Stark, my friend. Let's see. Marjorie Tyrell, Mira Reed, daughter of Hallan Reed, Robb Stark, son of Eddard Stark and Catelyn Tully, Robert Frey, son of Raymond Frey, and Banny Beesby, Samwell Tarly, son of Randall Tarly. Okay. Yeah. Let me see.
I mean, I guess ultimately what I'm trying to look at here is, with this sort of 3 heads of the dragon, Song of Ice and Fire prophecy, for it to be meant of that boy, which Aegon couldn't be looking at Lyanna during that. That would be impossible, because for him to say, he would have to be speaking of young, or theoretically young Griff, or the Aegon that's killed, and then saying there must be one more. He would have to be looking at Elia, and so for that to sort of the only way you could do that, still have a third daughter or your third
Third
child be a
child.
daughter would be if Dany is actually Rhaegar's daughter,
Yeah,
which is a theory,
it's a theory.
which is a theory.
Well, what I like
Then
yeah,
that would make way more sense, because then you'd have the three kids. You'd have Visenya, Rhaenys, and Aegon going along with Rhaenys, Aegon, and actually should be Rhaenyra, even though it's Daenerys.
Yeah.
Or Rhaenys, yeah. You know what I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Well, so the thing that I liked is when you look at the Mummer's dragon, and people always want to call young Griff fake. They want to say he's Fagon. Maybe he's not. You know? Maybe he's not.
Maybe he's the real deal.
Maybe he's the real deal. Maybe he's the prince that was promised. Tyrion does say he has like a dragon's kind of dragon spirit to him, kind of a.
And I don't. And I do you? I mean, I think John Connington would have known by now.
Heck
right?
yes. I mean, either John Connington.
Don't you think John Connington would know that he's a fake?
He would. Point? He would know, or he is, or he's deep in the pocketbooks, or he's being paid, or something. I mean,
or he's being
so manipulated, or something.
He's been clinging on to the idea of this could be Rhaegar's son, because he was, probably in love with Rhaegar.
Yeah.
That seems to be more likely that he was in love with Rhaegar.
Yeah.
Than just his really good friend.
I really do like the whole. I don't know why. It's probably not true, but I love the idea that if you did have twins born and it was unexpected and they were one taken north, one taken south, and possibly you have the Kingsguard, like Gerald Hightower and some of those guys met with Ned and Eddard Stark, and they and Howland Reed basically conjured up some baby swap situation for Lyanna. I think that's it's entertaining. I like those ideas are very interesting because of people like Qhorin Halfhand and Mance Rayder and Val looking almost Targaryen-like and being a princess, and that's what she's called, like the Wildling Princess. So.
Well, we just need the new book, because we can speculate on this all day. But let's move on here.